this country, if it exists, there are no degree holders who are capable of clinching a seat, then yes, why not have an affirmative action that can allow such areas to have people who can still represent them and have some level of understanding of things that they are supposed to do.
Now, I just wanted to be clear that that's what you're saying. And remember, it is I who raised that point, that, you know, the distribution is not even such that you would claim that you need to have degrees everywhere. I think then, wouldn't it just be easier to say that for the time being, it is not possible to implement a law that will satisfy all requirements of our constitution in terms of rights of people. So that then you would say it is not necessary to have a degree in political leadership, but gradually as education becomes available, an opportunity open to all communities, it becomes a self, you know, fulfilling achievement. Because the more people who have degrees, then that number will increase without having to be necessary in law. And you can find a situation whereby we have everybody with a degree because we have offered education to everyone.
Let me bring in Dr. Mutua. You've been quiet for a while, and Dr. Alwale on this as well, so that we wind up on this topic. Dr. Mutua, there was a direct confrontation from Dr. Alwale saying you shouldn't be taking barbs at Honorable Muthama. I didn't hear you mention his name though, but do you have a problem with him?
No, I mean, I'll not be drawn into discussing people. You know, I learned my lesson very well from the Mwai Kibaki, who said, hawa watu anawale, munawajua huyu na huyu. You don't have to mention people's names. I never mentioned Muthama. He was not even top of mind at the time. So I don't know why my good friend Dr. Alwale came to his defense. It's as if he knows something that we don't know about the papers that Muthama is holding. Maybe they are fake. Is that what he's trying to tell us? But nonetheless, it's good to see Dr. Buni Alwale back into the show. We missed you last week. Karibu sana. But a few things that are very important. The first thing is to clarify that if you look at the Constitution, and I'm looking at the Constitution here using my phone, Section 99, subsection 1B, says that a person who is eligible for election as a member of parliament, if that person satisfies any educational, moral, and ethical requirements prescribed by the Constitution or by an Act of Parliament. So, and we've had this issue about this Act of Parliament for a while. And you remember it was actually Senator Muthama who went to court and got it changed, and where the judgment read that members do not have to have a degree until 2022. We're talking about 2007, 2013, all that time. So leaders were given an opportunity to get a degree for the election of 2022. And that is based on an Act of Parliament. Members of Parliament have had all this time over the years to go back and change that Act. They have not done it because I think majority see the importance of having a degree. Now, Einstein said, and it is quoted to him, that say that education is that which you remain with once you've forgotten everything you learned in school. And also somebody once said that plants are fashioned by cultivation, human beings by education. Education, having a degree, is not about learning just a skill to be a doctor, to be a lawyer, to be otherwise. It is a skill that enables you to have an ability to conduct critical thinking, an ability to understand how things are framed, an ability to be able to sit there and vet other candidates for senior officers like cabinet secretaries, an ability to think at a certain degree because you have that level of education. It opens the world. Why do we have harambes all the time ya educate watoto wetu? Mtoto enda asome mpaka degree. If it is not important for you to be a member of parliament, to be able to set laws in the country, to be able to amend the constitution, if you do not require that level of education. So I understand what my running mate is trying to put here, Dr. Wamatangi, but look at him. Look at how much he studied himself, because it is important to realize that you need a certain level of skill that you acquire when you go to university. Now, Dr. Boni Alwale said that some of the leaders, we've had top leaders, Mulu Mutesia, Chotara, others do not have degrees. Yes, but what kind of leadership do they give? What kind of leadership have left the community? During their time, was hunger rolled back? During their time, were highways built? Or it was a different kind of leadership for that time that believes in handouts, sustaining a certain kind of leadership that was oppressive to this country and others. So you don't look at these leaders because they say they were great leaders of our community. What did the community achieve during their leadership? And also I want to correct him, and I don't like correcting people on air because it's not good, but I think he misspoke because he's a very smart man. But you know, many people were sent to England, to the US, because of negotiations of one great man called Tom Mboya. And Tom Mboya organized with John F. Kennedy to send people to the US, and they are called the Kennedy flights. Why did Mboya organize for Kenyans to go and study if study was not enough? But Mboya was educated. If you look at even Wikipedia about his education, from Mangu High School, he got a degree, he got a scholarship to Britain Trade University Congress. He attended Ruskin College of University of Oxford and graduated with a degree. Tom Mboya was very educated. He was an economist. He understood these things. Jomo Kenyatta was educated. Oginga Odinga was educated with degrees. So we're looking at leaders who had degrees at that particular time, and so had that level of education, and that is why they are recognized as great leaders who actually impacted people. Lastly, I agree with Dr. Odhiambo clearly, and she's very good at what she says about the affirmative action. I understand where my running mate is coming from about some communities that have been left behind. So a formula can be put into place whereby some communities can have slots where people can go in because of those communities until a certain time.
Yeah.
Kenyans have studied, and I think you can get with degrees all over. And it takes a certain ability for you to get to a certain level in life.
Okay.
That is why not everybody can be a leader or can be a CEO of a company. Okay. It's a certain skill that you take, and education. Being able to acquire education is part of that skill.
Okay. Dr. Luale, very briefly, because I have to take a break and change the topic now.
Yep. My brother Mutua, I appreciate the fact that you have no hands-on experience with how parliament or county assemblies work. Let me tell you why you do not need a degree. For example, today you are in New York. The MCAs in Machakos don't need a degree to ask you when you come back, were you on a private or official function? And if you are on official function, how much money did you spend? And that money you spent, did you overshoot what you are entitled to? You don't need a degree for that kind of oversight. Basically, that's what it is. As far as my sister Pamela is concerned, Pamela, you must distinguish the difference between appointive and elective positions. To represent people is not appointive, it is elective. And therefore, you submit yourself to the people and they decide that you deserve to lead them. If it was appointive, then you would not be submitting yourself to the people. You would be going to an HR firm to vet you and decide whether you are fit to be a member of parliament. Let me ask you, my sister, if education is that everything for representing people, how come the degrees you have said you have did not propel you to parliament? You had to rely on affirmative action. You should then have left the affirmative action for people who need it, and you go and compete with the illiterate people to see whether the voters will elect you because of your degrees, or they elect the people who are less endowed academically. Finally, Professor Pamela, yes, I'm happy to speak to you. Finally, this is not a joke. I come from a constituency where I was the 7th person to serve. And all my predecessors, none of them had a degree. In fact, the most educated was the late Jeremiah Mrila Hamati, who was a holder of diploma in education. The people who have succeeded me also, don't have degrees. So it means in that community, if I had gone with the entitlement of being educated, I should have been the one who would have been the alpha and omega of being member of parliament. Let our children compete for leading.
I have to take a quick break now. I have to take a quick break. We'll come back and get to your response in just a bit and then move on to a different conversation.
You'll allow me to respond to that?
I will allow you right after the break, Honorable Odhiambo. In just a bit. Keep